Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm really glad to be part of your time. Whenever you have the time to look at this new series of video that I'm going to do. But first of all, I wanted to wish you the very best for 2025. It's going to be This is a year where we're going to see a lot of changes. We already saw a big one, the inauguration of the new term for Donald Trump. There's going to be a lot of change in different places in Africa, for sure, in Europe, naturally, and also naturally in North America with us, between Canada and US. We still have that discussion. Will we become the 51st state? Um, I don't know, but once again, I wish you the very best for 2025. I wish you that everything that you put your art into will materialize into something really good. If you put your art into it, artwork, and actually, if you put yourself close to God, nothing is impossible. So, wish you the very best for 2025. So now. I know this is a subject that is quite controversial when you talk about Satanism and you talk about satanic human corruption, but this is also quite related to to this series that I was doing just before in 2024. Is money root of all evil? And I believe it is, and it's another way to enslave humans into another way to corrupt the art and souls of human. There's always this view: is really Satan exist? Is Satan not really a figure of speech, something that reside into the art of men? And no, Satan exists as a spiritual entity as much as God exists. If God exists, his contrary, his counterpart exists, and his counterpart is not the equivalent to God, but is trying to be, and Satan exists. And that's what I want to do, this satanic human corruption. That would be a fourth part exploration into the dark undercurrents, eroding the moral fabric of our society. As we see, every day, we see the ramifications of the corruption of men. Uh, that's why we will journey through the material prison that enslaves us, and to look at or to examine the worship of self that blinds us, confront the extreme carnal desires that debase us, and finally we want to witness the transgression of ethical boundaries that divide us. Yes, we see wars, we see domination of a country against another one, we see murders, we see, genocide. Everywhere it's chaos. In my view, this is the satanic, corruption and also the influence of this entity. This series aims to shed light on the spiritual corruption that may be at the root of humanity's deepest struggles, challenging us to recognize and resist the force that threaten our divine potential. Yes, indeed, we have a divine potential, because once again, when I was talking about the five proof of the existence of God or God's creation, what I wanted to highlight is inside of us reside the soul. The soul is the spark that is coming from God. So we are at the image of God, spiritually speaking. So yes, our divine potential is there. We just have to tap into it. Signs of Satan's, worship are everywhere. The Church of Satan, created in 1966, the music industry is a major aspect of satanic influences, especially with recent PDD events that we all heard about. We heard rumors in the past, but now this is something quite real. And other artists that clearly glorify Satan or are associated with it, like Shane Lynch, Sam Smith, or even Beyonce, that everybody accused of witchcraft. And we heard about Megan Fox and then other people from also the film industry that is not exempted. Notably, we see recently some titles like The Pope's Exorcist, we see nefarious, we see lots of movies that are, showing the influence and the power of Satan. But it's not as powerful as God. God is more powerful. But now we need to consider that this corruption in the human heart, in the human soul exists. So it's been also for long suspected that the Catholic Church has been suspected of Satan worship due to the use of symbolic representation in specific imagery that you can see from the Vatican. I visited myself the Vatican a couple of years ago, and I could see by myself, the imagery that is used is extremely shocking. And we see the activities in the past and also in the present show something extremely shocking. So we see Satan, corruption and influence on men everywhere. Now, bear with me, because now we'll delve into the 4-part series, and we'll tap into it and to look into more details about it. So, in our 4th series, we will tap into the material part 1. That will be the material prison. As you can see my screen now, our materialism and excessive focus on wealth can stop individuals, leading them away from spiritual growth. On part 2, we'll look into the satanic worship, the ego, the idolatry, and narcissism, our extreme individualism and worship of celebrities, personalities can lead to moral corruption and societal breakdown. On part number 3, we'll look into the extreme carnal desires, but all the extreme that comes with it, pornography, pedophilia, and excess of any kind. Satanism often promotes sexual freedom. How can this lead to harmful and immoral practices? We need also to understand that, even though we have nothing against gayism and people being gay or to be lesbian, but we need to understand what it means in terms of consequences. Part 4, transgression and ethical norms. The final part will try to examine how moral corruption manifests in broader societal issues, such as conflict, dominance of a country against another, or against a country against a tribe or part of the country, and others such as wars and genocide, and then we'll try to draw a conclusion out of it. So this is what we intend to do. So buckle your seat and be ready. We'll dive into it. Thanks. Guys, thanks for staying to delve into the first part of our 4-part series on satanic human corruption. So as I was introducing that first part, this is really striking, what we currently seeing before our eyes. We are in this modern world. We find ourselves increasingly trapped into a prison, a material prison of our own making. This prison is actually something that we built brick by brick, with a currency of greed and excess has become an inescapable reality for many. Actually, the pursuit of wealth has overshadowed once cherished values such as family bonds, honesty, humility, knowledge, and wisdom, once revered as the pinnacles of human achievements, that have been relegated to second place behind the almighty dollar, the almighty euro, the almighty, the mint. People today are so preoccupied with financial pursuits as they neglect to nurture their spiritual growth. I often relate to to most of the people that don't believe in God. They estimate that, the only development of their own desire, their own need is important, and nothing else exists. You know, this material prison is not a simple construct, but a complex system that has woven itself into every aspect of our lives. From the moment we wake up into this world from birth. To the second we sleep, we go back to where we belong. We are bombarded with messages of consumerism and materialism. Our work lives are dictated by payment systems that often value profit over purpose. We see a lot of people that don't necessarily like what they do, for a living. But the necessities of life, food, shelter, transportation, education, have all become commodities, accessible only through the lens of monetary value. So the more you pay, the more, return on investment you retrieve. Basically, this is what we saw recently with this, educational system from the A-League in the US, where people were bribing actually the people that were selecting the candidates to enter Harvard or, Stanford or any other, A-League universities. And we can see that the entrapment was typically the money that was invested, and in order to ensure a financial future for the children. The trap is insidious and nearly impossible to escape, actually. So our entire economic organization and monetary system are designed to keep us enslaved. We work long hours, not for fulfillment. Because as I said, most of the people don't like what they do. They do a job in order to pay the bills. We send our children to school not just for education, but to secure the financial future, because everything is distinguished by money and monetary capabilities. Every decision, from the groceries we buy to the homes we live in, is filtered through the sieve of financial consideration. This constant pressure leaves little room for what truly matters in life: the pursuit of spiritual growth, the quest for knowledge, and the cultivation of love and acceptance for our fellow humans are pushed to the margins of our existence. We find ourselves with scarce time and energy to dedicate to these higher pursuits. As the demands for the material world consume our days, our brain, our thoughts, everything is actually concentrated upon the monetary value. How do we generate money? How do we cultivate the possibility of making money? The result is a society increasingly devoid of depth, where surface level achievements and possessions are prized above all else. And this is what we'll see as well, in the part number 2. The ego, the idolatry. This is a consequences. These are consequences of all these elements. We have become actually prisoners, not just of a system, but of a mindset that values having over being, accumulation over experience, and competition over cooperation. For example, this is interesting. All the best ideas in the world will never negate the value of collective mindset, collective intelligence, to formalize ideas, to formalize vision. And this is what makes us human really great when we are together. Nonetheless, this material prison doesn't just lock away our financial freedom, it imprisons our very souls, limiting our capacity for growth, compassion, and true human connection. Because even the relationship between man and woman now have become a trade about money, a trade about what I have and what do you seek to achieve. What do you seek to achieve is to achieve the capture of the monetary capacity of the one that you want to spend the night with. It's no longer a connection that is making a lifelong commitment to someone for the benefit of what they bring as a person, as an individual. Now, as we delve deeper into this topic, we must ask ourselves, how can we break free from these chains? Is there a way to exist within this system without being consumed by it? And more importantly, how can we reclaim the time and energy needed to nurture our spiritual selves and build a society based on more than just material wealth? And this is what we'll try to address in this series. Thanks very much for your time for this part number 1. I'll see you in part number 2.